Hello and welcome everyone to another StarCraft 2 England cast. Today I have got game 1 of a best of 5. It is from the Gigabyte Nvidia Invitational and it is between Grubby, who is one of everyone's favourite Protoss players. He's the green Protoss in the top left position. In the lower right we have Millennium's ForGG, who is of course the blue Terran player. That means we do have on our cards tonight a PvT, and that is an awesome matchup. It's great fun. Now let's take a quick look at the map. It is of course Ahana, and what does Ahana mean? Well, it means that this natural base is super easy to take because this ramp is tiny. I mean, for GG, he can just put down a bunker here. He's basically got this pretty nicely defended and it's awkward to play. I mean, the only thing he needs to really be concerned about is an observer blink stalker play, which you can utilize from this sort of position. It's better shown from here. You basically put an observer up and you can blink up onto the cliff, but obviously that'd be occurring here. And I mean, other than that, he's pretty safe taking a pretty quick expansion, but so's Grubby, to be fair. He can get down his Nexus, he can wall off here quite easily, and what's really nice about this map is that you can wall off this area, because ultimately you can take these rocks out and take your third, and then, because the wall off is already achieved there, you don't have to worry. You just put all of your army here, and this is the only kind of area you have to worry about defending. So we'll see how these two players go about things. I mean, obviously it is a PvT, and as a result that means that we're not going to have gases, we're not going to have natural expansions going down too quickly. Instead, a bit more of a conservative opening, because essentially there's three main segments. Three? Let's go with three and see if I can make 3 segments of a PvT. And I mean, stage 1 is the gateway pressure from the Protoss, and that essentially is counteracted by the Terran player going for Stim, because Stim Marine Marauder absolutely wrecks Protoss gateway units. You then get the Protoss with 2 main options. They can either go for Colossi, which of course is counteracted by Vikings, or they can go for High Templar with Storm, and that's counteracted by Ghosts with EMP. Now, the reason you have those 2 options is they have Splash, and that is essentially what Grubby's going to be trying to do, is get quite a lot of splash damage in order to deal with a big Marine Marauder medevac ball, the typical MMM construction and army composition, which I most likely will see from ForGG here, but obviously there are options of tanks being thrown in, weird Hellion timings. There are other options, but to be honest, Marine Marauder medevac is the staple of a Terran's play against Protoss, and then they diversify into Ghost or Viking. Now, we do have the Cybernetic core down, no expansions coming down for either player yet. We do have a second barracks on its way out here for ForGG, and, well, again, that's just an interesting 2-racks opening. He's got the reactor as well, so could be trying to put on some pressure, could just be wanting to be a bit more defensive. Grubby, on the other hand, he still just has that Chrono Boost coming down on the Warp Gate tech, so does have the option of putting on some damage. He does have that second assimilator though, and generally when you see a full Warp Gate play, you won't see the second assimilator, so I don't think that's on the cards. The double gas does insinuate that there's going to be some kind of tech option, and I really think Blink Stalkers could be the choice, simply because of this area you can utilize. I mean, we'll wait and see, but I reckon that's an option. We do now have a factory coming down, as well as a tech lab on the other barracks, so obviously this factory could just be a tech path up to a starport to get medevacs out quickly. And Grubby actually lobbing down that second expansion very, very quickly, and will therefore gain an economic advantage, hypothetically, as long as he doesn't die before then. But obviously ForGG does need to think about expanding or putting on a big attack sometime soon, and really we'll see which way his play goes once this barracks finishes. He's got Stim coming out. Now the fact he's going for Stim, that takes, well, 170 seconds to come down, and because of that I imagine we will see a command center, because otherwise his timing options are going to be a bit off. He would have started that rather than getting a reactor, I reckon. There comes down the starport. We also have a tech lab, so we could see, well, the tech lab does suggest that we're going to see Banshee, but we'll wait and see what does come down. Meanwhile, we've got 2 more gateways coming down, as well as a robotics facility, so I was wrong in my call that we're going to see Stim. Instead, we're going to see probably a rushed observer out just to get some information about what's going on, and that'll get followed up basically with a Colossus tech build. So that's really the plan of action. We've got a lot of Marines here, and this is really good. ForGG is positioning his Marines in a nice arc And that is basically going to prevent anything coming up this ramp. The amount of surface area and the amount of damage those Marines will be able to dish out in a very short amount of time will just prevent Grubby from putting on any easy pressure. Now, we don't yet have the switch over. We have a tank coming out, but obviously there's no siege mode or anything like that coming down. It's just a tank and a medevac, so that's quite interesting. The tank will help deal with the stalkers, but obviously the Immortal will absolutely wreck the tanks if one were to come out. And obviously Grubby has his expansion up, and if we look basically down at ForGG's base, he's got nothing. He's got no expansion. He is purely just building up a nice little attack force. And to be fair, 2 tanks, two medevacs, and a load of Marines can be very effective, especially with Stim in there. So basically, it'll be a case of can Grubby hold it. But with even only 2 sentries, you can force field off this ramp, cut ForGG's army in half, and just be in a nice little spot. And now we did have a stalker poke up. It did get taken down there though, and a drop is going to be coming in. This could be really, really effective because Grubby's army, while not too substantial, he could lose quite a bit here, but obviously the 2 stalkers will be absolutely critical. This is a great play, just leaving some stalkers there for the defense, but it's going to be a 2-pronged attack, which will be really, really nice if he can force Grubby into trying to manage 2 areas at once. And if Grubby doesn't have the APM for it, doesn't have the concentration, and if he moves those stalkers, because obviously he's seen with the Observer the push coming up, he's going to bring all his army to the front, and now this drop is going to go down absolutely undefended, and that's going to be bad, sad times for Grubby, whose army is just so far away now. And while the chrono boosts are coming down to try and get another warp in, well, they're not going to be able to do much, and we're going to see an awful lot of probes go down. Meanwhile, we've got a big engagement in the middle, and I mean, SCVs have been pulled, but this army is just a distraction from this. And well, how many probes were killed there? 14 already gone down, and now we're going to see a Artosis pylon. That is sad, sad times. More probes are going down here. That was a bit of a misrally. They obviously went to the mineral patch and came back. And well, this drop will now get cleaned up. If that pylon goes down, it'll be incredibly annoying because there's now no warp gate production at all from Grubby for a good couple more seconds. So another 10 seconds, losing that is really, really big. And meanwhile, the natural base is getting absolutely decimated. And to be honest, I think that is going to be GG right there from Grubby because he's down to 11 probes. And I mean, he's got no way easily to deal with this army, and GG could just run back. I'm surprised he's still keeping the pressure on. Siege mode is done, so he can keep shelling, but of course, with 2 Immortals out, that tank can go down very, very quickly. And I mean, it's just going to be a case of microing and stepping these Marines and SCVs back and forth, trying to draw Grubby into the tank fire. But I mean, if we take a look back down here at ForGG's base, he's just bringing all of his SCVs basically to soak up some damage, and he's going to try and finish Grubby off. But as a result of that, he's going to be obviously cutting down his own mining. And Grubby, well, he's just got pretty much no money. He's mining an awful lot of gas though, but that's to try and keep the tech production up. He needs to get as much as he can, but just the lack of minerals is starving him. Grubby, if we look at the actual income, I mean, Grubby's at about half of mineral income, but does have gas income, whereas all gas income has been cut here from ForGG. And I mean, it's just a very, very small ball of Stalkers, Immortal and Sentry, but these Marines are going to be able to wreck that if they can get into range. If there's good force fields by Grubby, he could stop this, and of course a lot of SCVs have been pulled so far. Nexus is almost certainly going to go down, that'll put them back on equal basis. But, I mean, Grubby is doing an amazing job of defending this so far, but those Immortals are getting focused, the tank is still shelling, and, well, the SCVs are soaking up the fire exactly as they should be, and this is definitely GG. There it goes from Grubby, and so Game 1 will go to ForGG. So, it's 1-0. Please flick over to my channel, and I'll see you at Game 2 in a second, but before you go, please like the video or thumbs it up, leave a cool comment, follow me on Twitter, and subscribe. That would be awesome, and I hope you did enjoy. See you at Game 2 any second. Bye for now.